So just to give you a little preview of what we're going to talk about, and again, you will want to take notes. So go get a pad and a pen, save this video for later, make sure that you come back to it time and again as the year goes on in 2024 as a guidepost. So we're going to talk about capitalizing on some major energetic shifts that are coming up early 2024. They also shared some insights on how to get a competitive edge on AI. As we know, that's growing and it's going to keep growing. So they gave us some insights there, which totally blew me away. I wasn't expecting that. Um, they talked about how we can be at the forefront of some coming economic changes and an amazing new, at least it was new to me, attraction technique for calling in abundance at a quantum level. I'd never really considered it the way that they explained it before, but it makes total sense. I've already been using it and finding good results just in the little bit of practice that I've had already. So, and then we're going to talk about making an impact because I know all of you want to make an impact. Awaken Creators are here to be leaders. We are here to be sacred heartists and share our work and have it make a difference just by doing what we love. So we're going to talk about that too. All right. You're all settled in. Let's just dive right into it. So the very first thing that my guides shared with me about accelerating creative success in 2024 was that energy is about to shift. So early 2024, starting in January, the energy on the planet is just going to start changing. And at the time, they told me, look it up later. And when I did, I was reminded that Pluto is going into Aquarius, and that resonated as that's what's happening. That's the big shift they were talking about in January. And that shift alone is going to start really changing how things operate on the planet, what moves forward with energetic momentum, and what kind of things start lagging behind. Okay. The biggest shift that they mentioned we need to be aware of is that integrity is going to become the most important thing you can focus on. So being in your integrity is key. Creators who are not in their integrity will struggle starting next year. It's going to get harder and harder and harder to create from places that are not heart aligned. And what they meant by this is they were warning against getting too intellectual about your creation. They want you to create from your heart. They want you to, and what they meant by that was to be open to allowing love energy to flow through you without obstruction. What does that look like? It looks like releasing control, which I know for some of us can be really hard. We want to know how our things are turning out. We want to kind of be in control of the direction that our creations go, but they're emphasizing that heart integrity is going to require you to release that control. It's going to require you to kind of hand over the reins to spirit and learn how and practice being in a state of receptivity and just allowing yourself to start receiving that energy and just doing what it says. Doing what it says. Okay. All creatives are channels, right? So I know that like there's spiritual channelers and there's all kinds of other channelers. All creatives are creative channelers. You're channeling creative energy. Okay. So in order for you to act as a clear channel, you need to get out of the way. You need to stop trying to control everything. And you need to let the energy start to flow without any judgment and without any obstruction. So in order for you to create without judgment, though, they mentioned you need to start developing safe spaces for yourself. They talked about getting a special sketchbook, getting a special space in your house. If you don't already have one, you need to create safe spaces where you can allow whatever wants to come through. and start experimenting, okay? So not trying to put too much hands on it, but allowing these ideas that want to maybe they sound really strange, but just let them come out. Just have a safe space where you can experiment with things and you can just see what happens. That's going to give you a huge edge in terms of the integrity and the energy of your creativity. And this is where the conversation with my guides started shifting to AI. Um, they said that, and I think we all can see it quite clearly, that AI is catching up with humanity and it's going to keep going faster and faster. So artists need to be what AI cannot be. And what AI can't be is a conduit for spirit. That's your gift. That's the blessing of you. You get to open yourself up as this clear channel and be that conduit for spirit. And the issue here, the difference that that's making is that your creations are going to be embedded with this vibration that AI cannot replicate. Okay. AI can make very compelling art. You know, it can look through what's popular, it can create things that appeal to people, but it cannot replicate the vibrational energy that opening yourself up and putting your heart into your work is going to replicate, okay? So your creations need to have that, and they quote it, living, breathing God energy in it. Your creations must have that living, breathing God energy in it. That is what's going to be felt by other people. That is what's going to give you that edge against AI. So practice allowing the free flow of energy without judgment, without obstruction, without trying to control everything. Become a clear channel and you will not be able to be replaced by AI. Your music will just feel different. Your visual art will just feel different. Your creations, if you're a maker, will just feel different. Okay. Um, so that I thought was incredible. Um, and this is where they gave a warning. Again, intellectual creators are going to struggle. People who are trying to make art will struggle and they'll continue to struggle because what you're doing the way they explained it is what you're doing when you're trying to control everything is you're trying to operate like a computer program. You're trying to appeal to the masses. You're trying to make it the way that, it's expected to be, and AI can do that. AI can do that better than probably you could do that, right? Because it has access to all of the information, whereas you only have access to your lived experience unless you connect to that living, breathing God energy, that infinite intelligence, and allow yourself to be that clear channel, and then guess what? You have access to information AI hasn't even touched yet, right? Because it's originally being brought through you. So the energetic shifts that are going to start happening, integrity is key. You want that competitive edge over AI, you have got to get out of the way and you have got to let spirit move through you as you are creating. All right. So that was the first piece of advice that they had. The second conversation topic that they shifted to was about the economic changes that are coming. And this was really interesting. Of course, everybody wants to know, how do I make money in this new economy? We can feel it changing, we can feel it shifting. To position yourself for creative success starting next year, they wanted to make sure that you start to equate this economic, um, start to equate this new economy with the word mutually beneficial. Okay, they kept talking about how we're shifting towards mutual benefit, right? This means old paradigm of, like, competing and everybody fighting for themselves and their own, accumulation of resources is breaking down. That's gonna fall apart. And so we need to start thinking about, well, how can we create abundance in ways that are beneficial to many instead of just myself, all right? So they talked a lot about collaboration. They wanted to make sure you know that it's not necessarily just about creating art together, but it involves lots of other things, which we'll get into in just a second. Um, so mutual benefit is the way of the new artist. That's a direct quote that channeled through. Mutual benefit is the way of the new artist. So you're going to take your work and you're going to apply it into a group setting of some kind. Some of you are already doing this. So kudos to you. You're on the forefront of that. Taking your work and applying to a group setting. Examples, galleries, right? Nonprofits, community organizations, art collectives, vendor shops, consignment groups. And when they talked about consignment, they even specified not so much solo consignments, but group consignments. So you'll sometimes find these shops. There's one here in town where I live. There's a bunch of different creators all in this shop, right? And they all consign their work into this shop. That's kind of what they're talking about is going to really start to take off. So consignments, they also want to encourage us all to start connecting locally, not just online. They said very specifically, we need to do both because what this is doing is it's grounding the energy. So we need to bring that energy down from the interwebs and all this virtual interaction and all of that, and we need to anchor it into physical presence as well. So they did mention that local interactions will really more so start to get bigger in 2025, but you want to start establishing yourself in your own communities now, okay, so that you can be at the front of the line when this starts to really become a bigger deal. So allow your connections to be grounded in the local space and then broaden your connections online. So how does that work? They mentioned an idea and they literally said you might have to stretch your mind to grasp this one. But they want to encourage us to start collaborating with the sales even. Like the example that they provided was say you work with another creator to promote each other's work. So your website doesn't just have your work on it. You also maybe promote your friend's work or your postings don't just sell your stuff. You maybe partner on a giveaway or some kind of way to collab with sales, which I thought was really interesting. They also mentioned collaborations that involve gatherings. So you have this cluster of individuals coming together, and in my mind, I'm seeing like uh, these are like vendor shows and things like that where you have everybody's kind of doing their own thing, but all together. Okay, so that's what they meant by gathering type collaboration. And they did say that those would be the most beneficial in 2024. However, starting in 2025, they wanted to encourage us to participate, and I thought this was interesting, in cross-medium collaboration. This means you, with whatever thing you work with, working with someone who works with something different. So they gave some examples. A dancer and a musician getting together, okay? So not necessarily, a writer and a writer, an artist and an artist, but finding ways to collaborate across mediums. They said that that would be the most interesting and most effective starting in 2025. So we're even getting some insights into the next year. Um, but for 2024 and our creative success and really accelerating that, find ways to collab, find ways to insert yourself into the local community, to work with other people. Um, they did they did mention co-medium collaboration. So for example, you're a writer working with another writer, you could co-write something. You could create a story collection and apply all of you have some stories, they have some stories. So um, those kind of creations are going to be really effective in 2024. They wanted to remind us as they were talking about all these collaborative ideas and mutual benefit, this idea that money is not created in a vacuum. Working together to acquire abundance is the new paradigm. That's just how it is. That's how the economy is going to start shifting. Okay. So starting to open ourselves up to not being the only one who has to do it. Like it's not all on our shoulders as business owners to generate our own wealth, but that by working with and collaborating with other business owners or independent artists, we both get to mutually benefit from them. We both get to amplify our abundance, and that's really what it's all about. It's about amplifying that energy of abundance. Um, there was a little bit of like a side note to this, right? Because we're talking about economic shifts, we're talking about collaboration, we're talking about ways to amplify the abundance energy. They mentioned how money exchange is going to start working, and that money exchanges are starting going to start fading away and giving way to support exchanges. Okay. Some of us have this vague idea of how that might work, but they went a step further and gave many examples to try to stretch our understanding that it's not just an exchange of services for services, but it could be an exchange of ideas for services. It could be an exchange of resources like connections for goods. Okay. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a one-to-one equivalent. That's what we're moving kind of away from that. Well, I give you this, and you give me that, and I give you this, and you give me that, kind of like, and it all has to be even, and it all has to like equate to the same and whatnot, because it's about everybody's getting their needs met. Okay, and your need might not be equal to someone else's. You might, if you give them a painting worth $50 or whatever, you don't necessarily need $50. Maybe you need a network. Maybe you need an opportunity that that person can give. So open yourself up to this idea that you can exchange on a non-monetary level and on a not matchy, same for same, apples for apples kind of thing. But that you can exchange things in ways basically that just feel good. Exchange in ways that feel good. Like don't force it to have to look a certain way. If it feels good to give them that painting in exchange for those connections, let that be good enough. Let that exchange be clean and experience the build of value through that exchange. So I thought that was really interesting. Um, I never really got, like, money advice from my guides before, I guess, honestly, because 'cause I've never asked them. So I'm gonna start asking them because I thought that that was very interesting. Alright, this next point was the biggest one, and it was also the most simple one, but here's where they gave me this magic key that just blew my mind. I'd never thought about it that way before. Maybe I'm slow to the pickup, but it was new to me, and we'll get to that in just a second. But the simple key for creative success in 2024 was to have fun and enjoy yourself. Really that simple. Have fun, enjoy your life. They said we are moving away from doing things out of necessity because we have to. Those things will not have the same energetic potency to them as doing things out of pure enjoyment. So if you want to amplify the energy of your creations and of possibilities for abundance, you have got to enjoy what you're doing. So this just in, this is literally downloading right now an example. I'm told I'm supposed to sell my work on my website, but it doesn't feel good. And when I try to do that, I hate it and it's all complicated and it's techy and things and I just don't like it. Okay, hello, can you listen to that? What would be enjoyable? Oh, well, I just would love if I could just go to shows and like do all this stuff locally and like maybe even go the next city over and like expand my reach on the ground. Like that feels really good to me. Yeah, I'll have a little online presence, but like I really just want to do ground game. That feels enjoyable. I love the drives. I love getting to meet people. I love interacting with them. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your life. Listen to that. And don't do the online thing just because you think you have to, right? So they're asking us to move away from necessity and have to and all of that and follow the enjoyment and just trust that it's all going to work out. Okay. They also said you can learn to enjoy yourself. You can learn how to enjoy yourself. And that might feel weird. Like, of course I know how to enjoy myself. But do you really know how to enjoy yourself, or do you spend a lot of time in your head complaining, wishing things were different, not being present, not enjoying what you have, or being grateful for what you have? So you need to start practicing and learning how to enjoy yourself. And you said it's really easy to be present. When you're present and you're mindful, you are practicing enjoyment. You are practicing appreciation. That was a key word. So start appreciating what you have. You don't feel like you've got a lot. Think about what's actually going well, what is working. It doesn't have to be related to your creativity. They said you may not be experiencing a lot of creative traction right now just yet, okay? And it might be hard for you to stir up a lot of gratitude and appreciation in that arena when it's not there where you want it to be yet. So they said it doesn't have to come from there. You can be grateful for other things. Be grateful for relationships. Be grateful for food. Be grateful for nature. Be grateful for your health. Be grateful for anything. Anything. Just be grateful. Start trying to amplify the level of enjoyment you experience on a day to day basis. And that's going to start building up the energy of magnetism around you to start bringing in more things, okay? And it can make up for maybe lack in a certain area, but that you should start trying to practice appreciating, any area of your life that you have a little bit of struggle being grateful for, okay, clean up those messes. Now, on the issue of gratitude, this is where they shared this magic key, okay? And that few people are going to really go here, but this is their secret sauce, all right? We all know gratitude is the attitude of receiving. We have all heard that before. We know that. And they said, yes, that is true. That is the case. The universe responds to gratefulness. However, start not just being grateful for a thing, right, that happened or a relationship or whatever. You can amplify the energy by also being grateful for the feeling that it gives you. That, they said, makes it go quantum. So I am not just grateful for my relationship, okay? This is an example. I am grateful for my relationship because it makes me feel this certain way, and I'm grateful for that feeling also. So you have these in this one component, you have two things that you're grateful for because gratitude is already a feeling, right? Gratitude is already an attractive feeling. And now you're attaching another attractive feeling to that same feeling of gratitude. So be thankful for the feeling, not just the thing that has happened to you. Be grateful for feeling appreciative. If that's what you're practicing, start being grateful to feel appreciative, not just grateful for the things you appreciate, but grateful for feeling appreciative for the things you appreciate. Okay? Feeling confident. Be grateful to feel confident. Don't just be grateful that you got the audition. Be grateful that you got the audition and you felt so confident. Be grateful for clarity. Don't be grateful just for the brilliant idea, but be grateful that you feel so clear now that you have this brilliant idea. Amplify it. Be grateful for the feeling. That is like, it times it by two, basically, is how they were saying. So, let me just read my notes here. I think we already accomplished that, giving an example, but they wanted to emphasize when you're grateful just for a thing that's happened, that thing is static. It's a static moment in time. But when you're grateful for how you feel about the thing that happened, that energy, that feeling energy goes farther. And that's what you're starting to expand. So if you can't feel, um, sorry, just a second. Okay, so the example that they're giving is about accomplishment, feeling accomplished about a project completion. So you may have in the past been grateful to have completed the project, but now we're practicing this quantum gratitude, which is all about being grateful to feel accomplished for having completed the project. But um, you might want to tap into that feeling of accomplishment outside of the project because maybe that's a struggling place for you. So they said, well, capture that same feeling in other areas of your life. So it's kind of like the example they gave before, right? To not put so much weight and burden on your creativity to be your everything, to be your source of joy, your source of confidence, your source of appreciation for your life. Do not allow your creative projects to be don't be codependent on them, basically. Don't be codependent on your creative project, okay? This is just coming in like this understanding. So don't be codependent. Allow your appreciation for your life, your gratitude for everything, your confidence to come from other areas. So maybe you're not quite confident in your art, but you're hella confident about your sense of fashion, or you're super confident about being a good parent. You can tap into the confidence you have in those things to start amplifying it and apply it and to your creativity. All right. How are we doing so far? I hope that you are enjoying this video and that you are getting a lot of good insights in how to accelerate your creative success in 2024. Um, I so look forward to sharing more messages like these. And if you didn't already know, you can get channel messages from me every single day. I post new messages on my website at weareawakenedcreators.com. And there's also links everywhere where you can do that. So check those out. Let's get into this last one here. All right. So here's the fifth tip. Save the best for last. This one actually was a bit of a struggle for me to wrap my brain around. When I finally got it, I understand it. I'm ready to share the message with you. All right. It's about the idea of solidarity and the shift towards creating or surrounding yourself with resonant energies. Okay. Solidarity with other people in relation to beliefs and values. Okay. They wanted us to think about our beliefs about the future of humanity. Okay. And this is especially true because of how things are about to start changing. So, what do you really believe about the future of humanity? Do you believe we're doomed? Do you think robots are going to take over everything? Do you think humanity is just going to turn into this big pit of Mad Max hell? And we're all, like, figure out where your beliefs are, check them against your heart. I know for a fact if you're watching me and you resonate with Awakened Creators, you don't believe that crap about humanity. Those are possibilities and potentialities, but you are putting your money on, and by money I mean your value, your energy, your focus on peace, freedom, heart alignment, people working together, people coming together. Start living your values. In 2024, you want to have creative success? Start living your values. Start gathering with people who honor those same values. Your energy, what you give your life force to, is valuable. It is a vote. Where we place our energy, more starts to flow. So they want us to be very mindful to connect and invest our energy through our values. Okay. Combine your energy with other individuals with those same beliefs and values towards an effort. Okay. So, if, for example, you value community involvement, or you value the youth, or you value, um, we'll just leave it at that. Okay. Connect with people who also value those things. And they may not be other creators, right? Other artists. They may be what we mentioned at the beginning when we talked about collabs, community organizations. They may be certain nonprofits. Look for ways, they said, to apply your hard work in one of those spaces. Okay, so for example, again, you value the well-being of youth in your community. Okay, well, so does the YMCA or the Boys and Girls Club or whatever in your local area. Well, how can I, as a dancer, help out or apply my value in those spaces? Okay, well, maybe you can teach a dance class to the youth. Maybe you can host a talent show at the Boys and Girls Club. Look for ways and opportunities to connect your heart work with other individuals who have the same values. Okay. Um, so it's not about like, have I want to give back to the world. So this is some old paradigm thing. This just in. I want to give back to the world, and that looks like donating food at the food bank, or that looks like, this certain thing. That's not necessarily the case. You get to, in this new world, you get to lead with your heart work. I get to give back in a way that feels good to me, in a way that allows me to shine and give my gifts. I just have to find the right places and people that also resonate with those same values. Okay. That's why doing the dance class at YMCA is going to be so much more effective in creating the impact and change that you want to make than volunteering every Saturday at the food bank, which is not something that you should feel bad about doing. That's awesome if it feels really good to you. But what would be more effective as an awakened creator to have success, and we'll get to why this breeds success in just a minute. It would be more effective for you if you were a culinary lover and you love a culinary artist to then go maybe make meals at the old folks home, right? So find places for you to give back in ways that utilize your creative gifts. Because what they wanted us to understand is that generosity goes far beyond money. We have it in our head, this old thinking, I can't have an impact until I'm rich. I need money, then I can help people. They said that's all. That's not, no. That's wrong thinking. That may be the case. Yeah, money can do a lot of things. But the new thinking is I can have an impact with what I have now. Because what can you give now? You may not have money, but you have time. You may not have money, but you have know how. You may not have money, but you have motivational speaking skills. You may not have money, but you sure got a big old heart and a lot of love. You may not have money, but man, I could paint a mural in a day to brighten up the lives of people. So look for ways to make a difference in 2024 using your hard work. And how does this accelerate your success? What does any of this have to do with accelerating my success? Now you're asking me to give? Yeah, because God loves lovers. The more you give, the more it comes back to you. What are you giving? You're giving your energy to things you value. What is money? It's all values, it's all energy. You're giving, and what comes back to you might be more than money. It might be money, sure, maybe, but it might be connections that lead to quantum leaps in abundance later on. It might be opportunities, resources, a whole life path, a whole life purpose could open up to you by applying your energy towards things that you value and and opening yourself up to returns beyond money. Money is great. Go ahead and open yourself up to that, but also open yourself up to receive the intangible value of what you're doing that may pay dividends in the end because they literally say it's going to come back to you 10 times over. So, creators who want to be successful in 2024 and going forward, don't just operate from, well, I want to be successful because I want this and I want that, but rather, I want my hard work to make a difference. I want to do what I love and share that love and receive back more love and then give more love and get back more love. And this exchange that starts to happen will start to pay back in dividends. So imagine this. After all we've shared in this video, the energetic shift towards integrity, right? Putting that living, breathing God energy in your work, becoming a clear channel for heart work, opening yourself up to new forms of exchange, collaborating with other people, mutually beneficial abundance, practicing hardcore, enjoying your life, finding things to be grateful for, being grateful for the feeling on top of everything you're grateful for, and associating yourself with people who value similarly to you and applying your hard work to those things, you are pumping out love energy. You're collaborating. You're mutually beneficial. You're enjoying the hell out of your life. You're using your gifts. You're investing them in things you value. I mean, can you feel the resonance and the vibration of abundance that that person's life is going to exude? That's you. And that, they said, is what is possible for awakened creators in 2024 and beyond by applying these principles to your plan for creative success. So I hope that is enjoyable and that you loved this as much as I did. I learned so much, and my plan is to keep these footnotes front and center as I'm planning out next year and how I want to move forward and what my priorities are, what my intentions and goals are, and using this as a guide to make sure that I'm in alignment with all of these things because I just think it's absolutely brilliant. So I'd love to hear what you thought. Did anything surprise you? Does anything resonate with you? Leave me a comment. Let me know what you're thinking and how you're feeling. I am so grateful that I have this space and that you hold this space for me to come and just share what's coming through me. I wouldn't have it any other way. This is absolutely my bliss state. So I thank you so much for having me and loving me, and I love you back 1,000 times more. Thank you. And if you are interested in getting channeled messages on the daily, just go to weareawakenedcreators.com and check that out. And also the links everywhere. Otherwise, we will be back on Friday to prepare for the full moon in Cancer. It's going to be a really loving, nurturing, soul nourishing full moon ritual. I have zero clue what we're going to do. Not up to me. I just let it come through, but I know always it's going to be brilliant. So I will see you there. And in the meantime, share this video with somebody you think might be interested in having some creative success for next year too. So share the love. Thank you all for coming. I love you so much. Namaste. Bye for now.